So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this dress. So one shoulder dress. So the first thing you're going to do is to fold your fabric into two like this. I already have a video on how to cut a basic body. So the width of the fabric here is basically your hip measurement, then your hip measurement divided by 4, or the widest part of your body divided by 4 plus your seam allowance. So, and then you also have the back one with the zip, because there's going to be a zip here. The zip allowance for the back is about 1 inch or 1.5. So I'm just going to go ahead and drawing my basic bodies here, but I already have a video on how to do that, which I'm going to link in the description bar. So I'm going to go ahead, put in my shoulder measurement, 8 inches. And then come down here, marking my armhole on a straight line. My armhole divided by 2, which is at 10 here. I'm going to give it a curve for my armhole. Then this line is my shoulder to my waist, divided by 4 is going to be 8.5, plus 2 inches is going to be 10.5. I'm going to go ahead and mark that. And then on my hip line, my hip is 48, divided by 4 is 12, plus 1 inch of seam allowance is 13. I'm going to mark that here. And then I want this to be a pencil skirt. So down here, instead of putting in this exact hip measurement, I'm going to subtract 1 and make it 12. So now I'm going to connect my lines from then my bust measurement divided by 4 is 10.5, plus 1 inch is going to be 11.5. I'm going to mark that here. Guys, the main purpose of this video is just to show you guys how to put in the neckline, not really the body of the dress. So I'm going to just run through this here so that we can get to the neckline and the design. So after that, I mark my 3 inches of neck width here, and then I'm going to come down here by 1 inch for my shoulder depth, and then I'm going to connect this to this one here, and then now I'm going to cut out my bodies. So guys, this 3 inches mark here, I'm going to notch it just so I know where the shoulder slope is on the shoulder. So I'm going to notch it on in all the layers. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut my sleeve. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and draw in my sleeve. So as you can see, I folded my fabric into 2. I'm going to just come down here, mark my sleeve cap, which is 4 inches down here. I'm going to connect it this way, and I'm going to find halfway through here, which is going to be about 5.5. Mark that here, give it a curve at the lower part and then a curve at this higher part here. And then I'm going to just go ahead and insert my shoulder to my elbow, which is somewhere here. And then I'm going to go ahead and insert my measurement around that part, which is about... So guys, I divided it by 2 and then added my seam allowance, connected it to this part. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. You can make your sleeve longer. My sleeve is just going to be at my elbow, just 1 inch below my elbow. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out mine now. So guys, this is my sleeve here. So guys, I'm going to try to cut out this pattern that is here, this thing by the side of the body, but I think that will be after I've put in my dart and shaped my cloth and put in the sleeve, and then I'll come in back and put this by the side. But I'm going to use either of these 2 fabrics because the 2 of them have like the red color, so I think I'm going to be using this one here. So I'm just going to go back now because I've cut my sleeve. I'm going to go ahead now and join everything together, that's the body, and then I'll bring it back and then show you guys how I'm going to try to replicate this this thing by the side here, and then after that we'll cut the shoulder. I've joined my dress. It's a complete dress now with the dart and everything. This is the back. It also has the dart. I closed up the zip part because I want to cut the shoulder now. So to cut the shoulder so that we can be able to put the collar, what I'm going to do is just to... Okay, let me turn it this side so you guys can see better. So this is the dress now. As you can see, this is the front, this is the sleeve and everything. So remember, like we did, we notched this part so that we'll know where we'll stop joining the shoulder, which is at this point here. That's where the end of the stitch is. So this is where I stop joining the shoulder on this side and then this side too. So on this side, I'm going to just mark it right, and then I'm going to come down here by like 4 inches down on the part where my sleeve joins to the body here. I came down 4 inches, and then on this side, it depends on you how much you want yours to drop. I'm just going to make it 4.5 or 4 inches, because if you look at the picture, you will find that this particular one I'm making doesn't drop a lot. It's just right at the shoulder almost. So I'm going to just go ahead and connect this part to this part here, to this sleeve now, and then I'm also going to bring this down to this part. You can use like a straight ruler to connect it, but I'm just going to give mine a curve a little because I don't want it choking me at the neck. So I'm just going to, so let me just connect it with a straight line, then I'm going to give it a curve. So guys, I've given it a straight line. So now what I'm going to do is just to go below that straight line and then give it a curve like this, and then blend it down into this line. So now at this point, I'm going to, because with this straight line now, you see this is going to be my neck, and then it's going to be very tight. So I'm just going to curve it a little so that it comes down and then gives me some room, and then goes into this 4 inches and goes out again. So now I'm going to cut this whole part out. So guys, as you can see, I've cut mine out. Now I'm going to trace out the neckline for it. So my collar is not going to be going all the way to the back. It's just going to go on top here, and then from this top part here is going to just fold around the sleeve. So that's how my collar is going to be. But if you want, you can make yours to go around, but mine is just going to, I'm going to lose this part here, fix it into the sleeve, about 2 inches into the sleeve, close it back again. So it's going to just be in front and then go wrap around my sleeve. So that's how mine is going to be. So guys, as you can see here, I changed the fabric because the one I had before would not be able to do it. So I had to use another fabric. So basically what I did here is just to place this pattern on this here, and then I traced out the neckline, traced out this part here all the way down. But this extra that I have here is because this part is going to be wrapping around at the back. So I gave it about extra like 5 inches or like extra 6 inches or so. And then at this point now, I just marked it down this way. So it depends on you, the length you want it to be. You can make it like 5 inches or you can make it 4 inches. It depends on you. So I'm going to just make mine 5 inches. And then from this point here, I'm going to, as you can see, this one is also here, but at the top here, because it's going to be entering into this part of the shoulder, I'm just going to make it like 3 inches, and then I'm going to mark that here. So now I'm going to just go ahead and just connect it this way. So it depends on you how you want to blend it in. So I'm just going to use my hand and just trace it freely across. So coming to where the sleeve is going to join, I'm going to extend it a little bit more, because this is the part where the sleeve is going to fit in at this point here, the front sleeve. So you know, at this front sleeve, you want it longer. So at this point here, I can also mark that 5 inches, because all these parts is going to wrap around the sleeve. So I'm just going to connect it down to this same 5 inches here, connect it here, and then now connect this one, just wrap it around this way. So that's basically it. I'm going to go ahead now and cut this out. So guys, this is it here. All I have to do now is to go ahead and sew this down. So what I'm going to do now is just to take it here the way it is. So you see, I used 2 fabrics here and flipped it inside out and ironed it. So all I have to do now is just to take this. I'm going to rip the seam at the shoulder here, and then I'm going to tuck this in between here. But if you want, you can also close up this end like how you close it up and hide the seam inside. And then all you have to do is just to place it on top. That means your shoulder part here is going to be out. So, but I don't want mine like that. So I want to sew mine inside again and join this all over here like this around. And then I'm going to use bias to finish it up. See, I've joined mine. So you see what I was saying, I opened up this seam, put this inside and closed it back up. So now this is where I started it. So I've sewed it down like this. So you see what it looks like now. I'm thinking maybe I could have made my collar a little bit shorter. Instead of 5 inches, I would have used like 4 inches. That's including the seam allowance. So I might still go back in and reduce mine, but this is what it looks like. So you see how far it goes to the back, this far. So that's basically how you're going to get this collar now. So what I'm going to do is bias I'm going to take my bias, rip my zip allowance open so that I can be able to still put back my zip, and start from one side of the zip allowance. Use bias now to run around the neckline. If you're using lining at this point, you can also use your lining to turn it over, but I'm using bias, so I'm just going to rip the seam open for the zip and then use bias to finish it all the way from one side of the zip, go round to the sleeve, and then come back to the other side of the zip. So that's how I'm going to do it. I also have a video on how to use bias if you don't know how to do that. So that's basically how you're going to finish up your dress. At this point now, you can go ahead and finish that's it for the dress. Or if you want, because the thing by the side, I'm not really sure how that was done, but I'm just trying my best to replicate it. So all I have to do is to come down from my shoulder to my waist, which I already marked somewhere here, and then you see how I cut mine like a cone shape, ice cream cone. So just basically fold it so that you can get something that looks like a triangle like this. One is smaller and then the other one is bigger. So all you have to do, so you see the two shapes here, one is bigger and then the other one is smaller. So all I have to do is that I'm going to just I'm going to still go back in, sew these edges, like sew the rough edges, and then I'm going to take it here, come to the side of my cloth, and then I'm going to put this on this side here like this, starting from where my waist is, and then I'm going to try to tack it down so that it's going to drape, and then I'm going to sew it down like this. So I'm going to tack it down so that it can give me some pleats here, and then I'm going to just put it by the side like this, right? And then I'm going to take the other smaller one too, right? The same thing, the same cone shape. You see what it looks like? I'm going to close it up like this, sew down the edges, and then I'm going to bring it up a little bit and then do the same thing. Just use my needle to tack it down to hold the pleat, and then it's going to be on top. So the two of them will be by the side of this dress, but it's going to start somewhere about my shoulder to my waist. Mine is done now. So this is the shoulder with this. I finished using bias to join it, so you see the bias on the inside. Basically, as I was sewing down the bias coming down, I didn't want to have this stitch on top, so I raised this up and then continued the bias inside. So my bias is only running on top, just halfway through the shoulder on this side, and then the rest of it is underneath this here, all the way down, because I didn't want it to sew down on top of this cape. So that's basically how I did it. So now we'll move over back to the side of this here. So what I did is that cone shape that I sewed down, that cone shape that I cut, all I did is just to sew the rough sides, right? Sew the rough sides of the triangle down, and then I just squished it in like how you normally make a bow tie. So the center, I just put it in and then use like a stitch to run it, my needle and thread, tie it, and then that's what I did here. And then even for the bigger one, the same thing, just use a needle and thread to hold it at the center. So now all I have to do is to just place one on top this way on the side, tack it down this way, right? And then I'm going to take the second one, place it on top this way, and then tack it down. So that's basically how I'm going to join these two on the side, and that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, so this is the back here with the zip. That's basically everything in the video. The back with this side. If you have any question, just leave it at the comment section, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.